the Attorney General, Mrs. Virginia Mabiza, the Chief Secretary to the President, Dr. Martin Ushwaya. Today marks the last Cabinet meeting for the 2024 Cabinet calendar. A synopsis of the business transacted during the year reveals that as government we have made notable headway in our people-centered national development agenda. In this respect, during the course of the year, we crafted, reviewed, and implemented impactful policies, programs, as well as projects in our quest to fulfill the collective aspirations of our citizens. In a nutshell, the 2024 Cabinet calendar was a success with its robust and frank deliberations by Cabinet members. These discussions were facilitated by the greatly improved quality of memoranda submitted to Cabinet. Guided by the principle of collective responsibility, it was pleasing that as ministers, you rose above your respective sectoral interests in favor of objectivity and the common national good, with coordination being more seamless. I congratulate you, ministers. Let me, however, hasten to emphasize that Cabinet processes are anchored on the timely submission of vital documents and regular attendance by ministers and officials. These include to both ad hoc as well as standing Cabinet committees. The worrisome tendency by ministers and senior officials to absent themselves from meetings is untenable. In some cases, junior officials are delegated to attend and merely bench warm the meetings. This culture is tantamount to dereliction of duty by the particular minister. Permanent secretaries should ensure that in their absence, only directors and above should attend working party meetings. In the coming 2025 calendar year, the Chief Secretary is directed to strictly monitor individual attendance and ensure that errant ministers and officials toe the line or risk dire consequences from the boss. Ministers should remain mindful that Cabinet business takes precedence over all other business. In cases where deputy ministers are assigned, they should be adequately capacitated to enable active participation in the requisite deliberations. To this end, I direct that in the 2025 program cycle and going forward, deputy ministers must now sign performance contracts also. It is incumbent upon ministers to ensure that their deputies are comprehensively briefed on government business and given the latitude for effective involvement in government business. Comrades, Zimbabwe's assumption of the SADC chairmanship during the 4th SADC summit in August, and subsequently the holding of the SADC extraordinary summit, placed the spotlight on the country's organizational and diplomatic capabilities. I am profoundly grateful to you all for the planning and hard work exhibited during the preparatory stages and the actual hosting of the events. I say to you, colleagues, well done. Following my declaration of the state of disaster for the 2023-2024 summer season due to the El Nino-induced drought, sufficient grain continues to be distributed to beneficiaries under the Food Deficit Mitigation Program. The timely delivery of food aid as well as agricultural inputs to our people at the grassroots level must be prioritized, while complaints that transport costs are sometimes passed on to our people must be honestly be addressed. I therefore challenge the relevant ministries, department and government agencies to apply themselves and devise strategies that will increase transport and logistical efficiency in getting aid and support to our people. On health and child care issues, I commend stakeholders in the sector for implementing the multi-pronged interventions which saw us combat the cholera outbreak during the first half of the year. However, the lingering threat of cholera and mpox, among other public health emergencies, will be cautiously monitored. Mechanisms are in place to deploy the recently approved multi-hazard contingency plan to curtail the effects of floods and other national disaster emergencies. I call upon you to provide leadership and assist your communities to mitigate damage and harm to property and life in the wake of the ensuing rainfall season. On the economic front, the revision of economic growth projections on the back of the El Nino-induced drought negative impact on agricultural output was inevitable. However, we remain resolute and optimistic that the fiscal and monetary reforms introduced during the year will increasingly underpin currency stability and usher economic rebound. Our energy sector continues to experience shortages of electricity on account of low generation at the Kariba Hydro Power Station. The improved use and exploitation of renewable energy sources in the country, particularly solar energy, by companies and households, continues to reduce national grid power demand. The initiatives by ZESA through new models of independent power producers are welcome moves to crowd in the private sector in power generation specifically for their respective energy needs. More campaigns should be mounted to encourage our people in both rural and urban areas to adopt renewable energy for domestic use. It is encouraging that the housing stock in our country is modernizing and improving in both quality and quantity. Government will, on its part, continue to channel resources towards housing delivery, as well as the upgrading and rehabilitation of both residential and institutional accommodation nationwide. The strides made by local authorities during the course of the year are commendable. These include the conclusion of master plans by most local authorities. There are also glimpses of mindset change within that sector. Regrettably, cases of corruption emanating from the sector remain worrisome. The bold decision by Harare City Council to transfer waste disposal and management to private entities should be supported and replicated in other local authorities. Quality service delivery to our citizens remains the core objective. The modernization and development indicators that are evident throughout all provinces and districts of the country undoubtedly speak to the ongoing success of our decentralization and devolution agenda. This has seen an improved standard of life and living environments for our people, with enhanced basic social services infrastructure, particularly in health and education, as well as water and sanitation. Meanwhile, our adoption of the Zimbabwe Intergovernmental Fiscal Systems Administrative Manual should help foster transparency and accountability in the utilization of resources disbursed by central government. My administration continues to prioritize the digital economy and empowerment of youths, women, and small and medium enterprises. Innovative financing models should be pursued to accelerate the reconstruction of Mbare Traders Market in the aftermath of an unfortunate fire disaster. Equally, the modernization of workspaces throughout the country must remain on our priority list to guarantee that our people enjoy the dignity of work. The digital technology revolution is the cornerstone of modernization, industrialization, and efficient service delivery to drive sustainable economic growth. Inroads in the digitalization of government information and services are occurring at a worrying slow pace. It is a misnomer that with abundant ICT skills and capacities among our young people, our government has only a few functional and up-to-date ministry websites. More should be done to improve this situation. Likewise, government communication dissemination strategies and overall messaging must be improved. As we close the year and set the agenda for 2025, the need for structural transformation of our ministries, departments, and agencies to propel our Vision 2030 is of paramount importance. We witness the role of ADA in empowering critical aspects of our agriculture food systems and transformation strategy, along with entities such as Zimtrade on the trade side, and the institutions of higher learning with regards to science, technology, and innovation. Similar pursuits must therefore be made to identify strategic agencies within your respective ministries to increase impactful programs at both the grassroots and macroeconomic levels. Comrades, as Cabinet takes a well-deserved break, I think, let us take note that we are not shutting down government business and the subsequent delivery of services. Mechanisms must be put in place in our respective ministries to balance the demands of family and associated festivities with serving the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe, who have trusted you with that responsibility. The service delivery demands of the people of Zimbabwe must be responded to timelessly. After all, we are a government by the people and for the people. In conclusion, I thank you individually and collectively, including our Chief Secretary and our Chief Secretariat, for working tirelessly and diligently throughout the year for the good of our motherland, Zimbabwe. I expect that the majority of you will enjoy end-of-year festivities with your families, those who have them, and your communities. With these remarks, may I, on my own behalf and that of my family, wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2020 what? 2025. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe. I thank you.